Hello, and welcome to this week's Golden Nugget. I want you to think about the last time you did a PowerPoint presentation and you really wanted something to hand out to the audience. Would you just want to give a copy of your handouts? You could. We're going to talk about handouts today, and there's a few things that you might not know about handouts. I recently did a PowerPoint presentation on a topic, Zoom, breakout rooms, for example, and in the session they wanted some notes. I typically wait until after the presentation to send them the handouts. I don't typically do it ahead of time. For whatever reason, I usually think, well, I'll add something. When I'm doing my presentation, I might think of something to add. Oh, shoot, that's not on there. Good example is the overview. I added a point afterwards. So if I would have sent them to this before, then they wouldn't have had all the information. Anyway, so I want to show you a little bit about how you can pick and choose the handouts that you send them or print for them, and also about if you want to do even more modifications to it. So first of all, you might know about file print. When I'm in here, I have the option down here to print different kinds of handouts. So here's my handouts. I have one per page, 2, 3. I have a whole bunch of different ones, 4, 6, 9. 3 per page is very, very common. You've probably all seen this before. Very, very common. That's a good one. You can flip it to landscape if you want or whatnot, but you really don't have very many other things that you could do with it. You can go in and put a header and footer on here, but if there was some other kinds of notes, you couldn't do that, and I'll show you that in a minute. What I wanted to do was I wanted only to print certain ones. So you'll see my very first slide here. I always have that up so that when people are coming into a virtual meeting, they kind of know that they've come to the right place. Now, I don't really want that included. So what I did is I wrote down the numbers of the slides that I wanted, and I've got them right here. And I don't want number 1. So I'm going to go here where it says slides. I want 2, 3, and 4. So I'm going to go 2-4, and now it'll only give me slides 2, 3, and 4. If I hit tab, I can see what it wants to do. So it's only one page, but I also want a few others. I want 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. So I'm going to go comma 6-12. So it skips slide 5, and I think there's one at the end that it skips as well. I'm going to hit my tab key. Now I've got 4 pages. So there's my first 3, and there's the rest of them. Now it does continue numbering like normal. So somebody might look at this and they might see that too. They're like, where's slide 1? That's okay with you. That's okay with me. You can also go in to your header and footer and you can say, don't put the page number on. So that would be pretty good if you wanted to print them out, double side them or whatever. If you wanted to put them in a PDF format, then you can go and pick from your printer list Microsoft Print to PDF. And then when I hit print, it's going to come up and ask me for a file name. So this would create my PDF. Then I can very easily send an email to all the people that were on my presentation and say, hi, thank you for attending the session today. Here's your handout. And of course, everybody would be able to open them because they're a PDF. PDF is so universal. And if you wanted, you could change it to black and white or grayscale or something. I think I'd rather let them decide if they want it that way or not. The other part that people don't really realize is that you're not restricted to just these options. There's a lot of options under here, but if I go to export, we could probably spend a whole session just on this screen. We've got a whole bunch of options here, including PDF, but we've got create handouts. Now what that will do, it'll throw them into a Word document. You can choose to update the slides in the handout when the presentation changes. So this would be more like you've got a lot of control over what your handouts look like. You can put fancy headers and footers, and maybe they're part of a training manual, so you could include them in there. I'm going to say create handouts, and it asks me what layout I want. Now I've actually already done the blank lines next to slides. It does take a few seconds to do, so I've actually already done it. At the bottom, it says paste and paste link. So I would just click OK there. I'm going to show you what that looks like. Here we go. Here's what it looks like. So here's kind of the same thing. It's the 3 per page. It's got lines on it. You could move things around if you wanted, put fancy headers and footers on. Notice it doesn't ask me about which slides I want, but you know what? This is in a table. So if I didn't want slide 1, I would just select it like this. I would probably go up to my layout up here, and I'd probably say view grid lines so that I can see what's going on. It's just a table, isn't it? Column 1, column 2, column 3. I would go over here and I would go delete rows, and then it comes up. So you can pick and choose to see if you want to add any text or whatnot. So it really is a Word document. I'm going to delete that last slide because I didn't have it on the other ones. Now it doesn't look like it really looks that great. So what I usually like to do is go File, Print. And it still doesn't look that great. Like what's happening with the, the border around it. I'm going to just zoom in a little bit, bottom right hand corner. And now I'm actually able to see a little bit better what it's looking like. So it doesn't actually look that bad. Is it worth it to put it into Word? It depends on what else you want to do with it. These are little graphics. You can move them around if you want. So you might have a whole new idea about what you want to do. You might want to blow this up to half a page or a full page. You want to put some notes underneath it. It's up to you. So I would encourage you when you're in PowerPoint to go into File, Export, Create Handouts, and play with these different layouts. You can see where you can paste link them. If they change in PowerPoint, they'll change in Word. Bet you didn't know that was there. We covered lots of cool things like this in our PowerPoint class. People use PowerPoint all the time, and there's so many little hidden things like this. I hope to see you again, either in one of my classes or next time for our next week's Golden Nugget. Thanks, everybody. Bye for now.